Okay, there we are. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Or I should say, konnichiwa. Welcome. I have just finished off some actual Japanese work here. I've got more, but I do have a little bit of time actually, which is quite nice. And the best thing is, I've been able to rework my actual week, so the amazing 2 times I would actually go into university for face-to-face classes, I've actually managed to get them onto both being Mondays, rather than having 9 AM Monday and then like 9 AM Friday. Sorry, 10 AM Friday. It's like, that doesn't make sense. So I've got it 9 AM and 11 AM now on a Monday, which is awesome. Means I only have to go in there and get up early once. How you doing, Van? I'm just talking shit, aren't I? Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the turn then. He always puts these really ominous messages. He put on the email, I can almost taste it. And it's like, okay. So does no. Worrying. And I was thinking like, well, where could he mean? Where could he possibly mean? What could he possibly mean? And then this is it, isn't it? There's always that that aspect of maybe he's just screwing with us really, which is very likely. But we'll find out. Now, we may cross at Kienko today. It's Galahad the chest. Yes, we should, in theory, cross at Kienko today. There is every chance that we might not, because we might be like a mile short, but hopefully we'll make it today. That'll be an intriguing one. Yeah, we'll get into it then. Infinite Monkey, being the champion that he is, actually did help to reorganize the Wake Invasion Force for me, which was really nice. It's a good job I have people actually aid me, because I just, frankly, it'd take a lot longer to do these episodes, or to do these streams without any aid. Okay. So still seeing a sub in the port bed of Rabal, just be a pain in the ass. I was considering actually moving some fuel from Rabal to Lagi, but we need to drive from elsewhere, really. We need to try and get more fuel into the area in general, so hopefully we can actually get some fuel out from the Celibacy area there. The tankers should be out. We are sweeping mines over here at Rangoon. The bloody Trusty being a annoyance there. So ideally we can clear Rangoon and mines. I cleared the ships in port just to make sure that would be okay. And it's just the 4 DMSs there. I'm quite glad I left the DMSs, actually. Right. Okay. Looks like we'll be moving out of the night phase. Hukuzu... Hukuzu... goes down there, unfortunately. As that takes a few of the JNAF Koi with them. Ah, fuck. San Pedro. You lucky son of a bitch. Well, that's nice there, so that would have been nasty. Would have been nasty. But we do look out there. San Pedro and San Diego. So, no look there from the Seawolf, which is very nice. And we're going to make it into the day phase now. Please say so. Yep, there we are, into the day phase. So far, so good. Now, our tankers should actually be around about this point. Right. Amasukazi, I think it was. Interesting, he's actually got a sub out here, actually. Is that a Dutch sub? Yeah, it is indeed a Dutch sub. At Semarang there. Okay. So he's actually aiming to try and intercept us. Now, that is the air division actually arriving here today, so that's good news that they've actually made it. Do have a task force merger, so that should... Oh, yes! Good! Go, W15! Go, you! Glorious SOB! Okay. I'm so happy, because I really do like these DMSs. They're my, like... I don't know why I have an attachment to them. Right, well that's good though, so it doesn't actually see anything more there. That's quite handy. Okay. Ooh, we are seeing some ships actually by Ceylon, then I just saw that. Allied AK there. Okay. I didn't have Palmateer. Will I let them upgrade to E's? Well, we do. I think we do get more DMSs later on, but I know we get more E's as well. I'd have to take a look and see really what the need is going to be. Allied ships there, okay. Right, so we finally detected there. So, KB has been sighted, but, well, that's eventually going to happen anyway. I'd imagine we'll see shortly things kicking off. That's actually amazing that they go through there. What do we find here? An AMC, okay. Nothing particularly spectacular. And they make it out there. That's good. I'm going to be actually... there's one that should have been on naval attack with 20 ASW and then rest. And then there was another one on naval search. But I have to double check those. I might have actually not set them as I wanted to. But we didn't take any losses. And well, we got to see what was important to some degree. We know what is running there in terms of actual cap. Right, so I was going to have the bombers actually hit Kienko over here today. I decided against it because I did see, I think it was, what, 20-odd bombers, sorry, 20-odd fighters there. And we do have this threat over here, which is moving towards Kungchang, so I thought, well, we need to actually slow that threat down so we can actually catch up to it. So we're doing that then. So they're going to get hit by the Sire Squadrons here today. Ideally, that'll slow them down. Ideally, it'll make them less effective. We just need to make sure we can get to Kungchang before they can. Right, here we are hitting the Susana again. Yeah, a couple more casualties there. They'll be bombarded again today. It would be interesting to actually see what sort of experience they might have gained there. Right, we are hitting him here today. I think he might actually make it to Yichang today. It'd be an interesting one to see if he does or not. Okay, some more he does. Right, additional size there. I am trying to get more aviation support out here to the north as well, and towards the end too. So we're blowing more speed once again. Okay. We've been fairly successful in keeping Port Moresby subdued these last few, was it weeks now? I think it might be about a week or two. Oh, I didn't. They're not set to 23,000 feet. They should be much lower than that. If it's 23,000 feet, it might even be just misreported, but I've not set it 23. Unless something's gone wrong. But we do often see that the reported altitude is actually not right. Yeah, estimated. Welcome, by the way, therefore. As you can see there, 8,000. Okay, bombed him over here again. I think we're attacking here again today. I can't recall if we are or not. I think we are. Right, reconnaissance over Cheng 2 is good. Right, hitting him over here too, slow him down ideally. I took the salaries that went over here to Canton and shifted them to Langchao some days ago. We do have another two... Oh, I always forget that you can do this. How you doing there, Vulcan? Good to have you. We do have two Sire Squadrons, which I moved from Chiang Mai over here to Langson. They've been resting this turn so far. Nothing especially crazy as of yet. I took the actual Oscars that weren't escorting towards Kienko this turn and actually had them run LRCAP over here as well. So we have the group from Langchao and the group from Xi'an too. So ideally we can drive them off. These SB3s are a pain in the arse, but ideally we can drive them off here. A couple damage there. Okay. Right, looks like we managed to drive them off, which is good news.
Okay, reports an AP there being hit, which is nice. So we've seen more ships there. I've actually seen some ships around Nigma, which is interesting. How you doing there, SunYan? That's an interesting report there. Right, the G4's going to again. They make it in again. I wonder if they're on a training mission. I doubt they'd be on a training mission. It's kind of intriguing though. Yeah, I'll double check this. I have to say for those G4s. I mean, it's interesting actually regarding that report of a carrier then. Whether or not it's true. Right, we are getting our reconnaissance, which we need, which is always good. Right, okay. Torpedo misses, okay. I mean, this is like shallow waters. These are the... Are they the Type 2 or the Type 95? I think they're just, yeah, just a Type 95 there. But even so, it should still take some damage here. Would be nice if it took some real damage, frankly. Should be able to start the process of transferring the actual 2 division detachments. So I should say regiments. We're a little bit like... Yeah, they're essentially 2 regiments, but a little bit beefier regiments, really, aren't they? That's looked good so far. I mean, nothing particularly spectacular in terms of damage, but it adds up. I mean, Semarang is a size 5 port, so yeah, we should be able to rearm the ASW as well, which is quite handy. She's taking a fair bit of whack in there, but it's a lot of depth charges being dropped there. Yeah, damage up. Just need that one good hit. But she's taken a fair old pounding there from sheer amount. And that was a lot of depth charges there. Right, DMS. Don't... Oh, god damn it. Okay. Well, I suppose it's going to happen. It's better that it's a DMS and not a tanker. I'd have rather have been a sub-chaser, though, frankly. I mean, these are some very, very busy waters for submarines here. But we're making it through so far. It's a shame. I do like the DMSs. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still torpedo. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they do have a high failure rate, but it's still torpedo. Should probably go down. She does go down there. That's a shame. I do like those DMSs. Sailfish once again. She's been attacked here by the W-17, which is trying to avenge her sister. Yeah, well, we have 2 groups of Jakes over here at Tarakan. We have another 2 groups at Manado, or it might be at Talad. Might be Talad. I forget how it is. I know there's like 2 here, 2 here. Right, so I-155, that's an AMC out there by Ceylon. We're being attacked, actually, which is interesting. We're in deep waters, and it's only got 1 depth charge rack, so it should be okay. I'd love to see what else is in there. Okay. So the Nord, Santa Ana, and the Calcutta there. Okay. Well, the G4s have some really nice range, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, it's that range, which is really quite nice. I mean, what is it? 17 normal range. So it divides it in half. Oh, so we do have our shock attack over here at Kienko then. Right, okay. Wow. I didn't expect it to come there. So we've seen the 9th Chinese there, we've seen the 14th Chinese. So there's a few strong cores, but we can see that there's a lot of smaller cores here, but there's a couple of good cores. So that was to be expected. It's got a decent amount of artillery here, actually. So this is probably going to be the best that he has in the area. It's more than I was hoping for, but it's not as horrific as I'd imagined, potentially. We'll see how this attack goes today, really. I'm not too sure. I don't know. It's one of those of... I just hope that we come out to it well enough, and I think we should be relatively okay. We do have a number of factors in our favour, so we'll just have to hope for the best, and I suppose it would have been nice to have had a few more armoured units, but I suppose we'll see there. It seems like he is... there are Jakes in both areas, I think, and I think we do have full coverage. Yeah. Right. I should speed it up, but I always like watching these, because it is actually worthwhile seeing this. There might be additional units we're not seeing here. Yeah, so how many cores? So we've seen 15. A lot of these cores here are about 70 AV. So there's a couple strong cores, and I'm hoping that we might be able to drive them out. He does have the artillery, he does have these mortars. But we do have a fair amount of artillery too. Here's an AT regiment, that's one of the rare ones there. He does have these group armies over here, which will help him out significantly. It's going to be an interesting one, really. It's going to be an interesting one. I think we're already bombarded now, so I'm going to have to speed up in a second, aren't I? Ah, let's hope for the best then, eh? Hope for the best. Yeah, I have to hope for the best. But we'll see. No matter what, we're across the river there, really. Divisions on our side seems to be holding up well enough, as far as yet. We're still bombarding here. But the bombarders having an impact on the enemy. Just hopefully it's a meaningful impact. Right now we're attacking. So you see 36 there go down, 110th go down there, 37, 32nd there, 11th and 23rd. Lots of attacks, lots of firepower here. Certainly going to be an interesting result. Yeah. That's going to happen. There's a lot of opposition. The division that crosses first usually takes the worst of it, as happened at Singapore, really. Right, so we don't kick him out. Okay, so that's not too bad then. So we have 6,358 casualties, 130 destroyed, 497 disabled there. What did we come to in the end? So we had 1750 to his 2577 here, so he has a fort level of 3. So we do make it across. We don't outright win, but we're not outright defeated either. So 597 disabled there, 2 destroyed, 138 disabled, 72 engineers destroyed, 138 disabled, 5 guns destroyed, 69 disabled, 14 vehicles destroyed, 64 disabled. We inflict 3,688 casualties, 48 destroyed, 411. So frankly, not a superb result there. 2 destroyed, 102 guns disabled though, that's quite good. So it could have been better, but that's not too bad. Those fort level 3 certainly helped him out. The terrain at 2 helped him out, but not too bad. 1750 is not a tremendously bad result. It would have been nicer to have had a higher one, but we are finally across here at Kienko, and well, that's it. We'll have to take it from there, really. So it'll take us some time to actually recover that. More troops have moved out there anyway. The thing to bear in mind is, where did his troops come from? His troops came from, was it Chungking? Yes, Chungking. And those are all the divisions that have been reformed. Well, all the corps have been reformed there. It's also corps that he had in that area as well. So he's moved all those reserves there to Kienko. So that's a lot of men he's moved in there. We'll move in men ourselves, but we're across the river. What we need to do now is obviously just hold on to it, which I think we should be able to do. We had a fair amount to say, but I can imagine some of the divisions are probably not in greatest shape right now. But I don't know if he'll be able to kick us out with that. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see about that. If we can hold on, that'd be great. But we're going to keep on pressuring him elsewhere in China as well. We would have had more units out that way if it wasn't for those 11 units that we had to kick across. But once they're dealt with, we'll have 2 divisions heading down that way. We'll have a couple armoured regiments that can head down that way too. Excuse me. Not quite the result I would have really desired, but not bad. Oh, this is not too bad here then. So we don't take any losses here, which is quite good. So should be able to defeat that, and maybe even capture it next turn, which we'll see about. So we have our deliberate attack over here at Kanxian. So 25th Chinese Corps, then 18th Chinese Base Force. So it's a decent unit there, but this is clear terrain, so we're reducing fortifications there down to 2. We didn't take many casualties there at all, which is nice. He didn't either. We should be able to kick him out of that soon enough, which is quite nice. Shock attack over here then against the 52nd Chinese Corps. That's going to be another corps that'll be joining them up at Chungking, I'd imagine, soon enough. So 38th Division attacking there, 4th Division attacking. Yeah, I think we win that. Does it retreat? Oh, it surrenders there, yep. So they'll be joining them up at Chungking soon enough. So they'll be able to march onto Nanning now. 134 casualties there. Yeah, so that is a corps wiped out there, so we'll be able to cross to Nanning. Bombarding once again over here at Lucina. His AV is dropping now, which is quite good. Yeah, so Kienko was an interesting result then. Could have been worse, could have been better, of course, but not too bad. Also, we'll have to take a look at the results there. I don't know if we reduce the fortification, I'm not too sure on that one. But we'll have the time, ideally, to just recover and then keep the pressure there. The good news is that's a large battle on his doorstep. He can't afford to turn away from that one. so we'll see how that goes. I think him having the headquarters certainly helped out to a great degree as well. But this as well, we'll have the 2 divisions in the south are going to pressure him. We'll have additional divisions. I think what we'll do now is just pressure him as much as possible. So 126 casualties there. Yeah, he's started to fall apart now, which is good. Right, we are attacking here once again. Oh wow, the armored unit has moved out over here to the coast. Wow, that's going to suck for these guys. So that's actually really good timing for us then. So that's really good. We could actually try to potentially isolate that unit there if we could manage it. I could land troops over here and then possibly manage that. Yeah, we're going to target the airfield. And the reason why it's been a bit difficult to do that as well, he has fighters nearby. We don't have a great deal of fighters, and I really do not like the idea of sending in bombers unescorted or not properly covered, really. Okay. That's looking pretty reasonable there. It'd be great if some of these units were to surrender or be destroyed. They're likely going to retreat, but we'll see there. But that's another day that they've taken a big beat in there. So retreating... Yeah, continue to retreat there. And... retreat, okay. All towards Akyab. Ah, so that's interesting. They've gone there. He's... Right, okay, that's intriguing then. Low supply there. So we had 156 casualties on our end. We inflict 157 casualties there. So if I land here, I can trap those units more or less. That's the only way we'll be able to manage it. There we go. So we can... It looks like we have to march this way, I believe, but we'll see how the roads look there. We do have our shock attack against the 221st. It would have been better had we had the 14th Tank Regiment there. Where are they retreating? Where the hell are they retreating to? Of course. Of course, that's the way to retreat to Akyab, okay. For fuck's sake. Okay. So I'll send the tanks to go deal with that finally, but at least they're in clear terrain now. You'd think that they'd just surrender really, but they're being arses. Okay. So that'll about do it. Right. Fortify Manila now. Okay. So not a bad turn. Yeah, 500 disables not too bad, really. Could have been far worse. We'll have to see. It looks like one division took the brunt of the damage. We'll see how the other ones are holding up. Right, they're beginning their refit there in Singapore, which is good. Okay. I mean, once I can actually reliably employ the bombers there, I'd be quite happy. It would have been great to have taken Kienko first day, but, well. I think we had a reasonable roll, I guess. Okay, a couple Naval Guard units there, 41st and the 46th, which is quite handy. Okay. Let's see. Save it there then. Then I'll reload it, make sure it runs properly again. Oops. Now, that's a big battle in China. It'd be intriguing to see how long his supply can actually last up that way. I imagine it'll last a fair while, because it's going to have a decent amount, I guess, in that area. But it is going to be going to that area alone, more or less. There we are. Reload that. I should be interested to see how it plays across the rest of China. And that's what we need to do now, is put the pressure on elsewhere, really. Just try and punish him while we can. Really try and drive on hard there. So we'll take a look then today. So it's at 7,000 there. Okay, so you obviously gain from army losses. Top C, Lily, Jake, and SB3. Those SB3s are really irritating. Okay. So the ship sunk today then was the W18 and the Hakuzuyu, which is a shame. Perhaps, it depends really, doesn't it? I think the situation does really quite rely a fair deal on the cities that he has here. He'll probably have a decent amount in this area, but the issue is, well, if it's in this area alone, and if we take the cities here, it's going to have less in the periphery for these units. We'll see. Right, we'll march across here then, so we can have a day in March. Sorry, a day in movement mode. Yeah, so day in movement mode, 2 in combat then, I guess. I think it's major road, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we are. Right, so they can make progress. So we'll take a look at them over here then. So we have 1789 there. Because I don't need to change their planning as of yet. And this is it. It's like I'm not going to change for Nanning when there's 2 units over here at Nanning. I'm going to save that until we have like an actual reasonable target. It's like the reason why they're still planning for like Singapore and Nanning. Actually, that's kind of convenient when it's Nanning. Because I'm going to lose the majority of that planning. I want to actually have it on the target I want. I don't want to have to change it twice and I'll lose even more. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's worthwhile just to keep it for the actual target that you're going to go for. And let it build from there. But I need to find out which target that's actually going to be. Lu Xiao is clear terrain, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's likely going to need to be on like ×3 terrain, really, or the ×2 up over this way. We'll see about that. Okay. So not too bad here, then. I think they can go ahead and attack again. It's clear terrain, so they should be able to break it down. They did break down their fortifications, which was good. So we see there's 3 units over here, then. Okay. Let's see. I don't think he would retreat this way. I think he would retreat that way towards Kukong, or even potentially north, but likely to Kukong. I'm tempted to move that unit there, just to make sure we have that hex covered. At least I can force him to go that way then, so I think that's worthwhile doing. So what I could do then is have them possibly hold off for this day. And a shock attack could even be potentially considered there. But I think we hold off for a day, then allow them... And then at least by the time they do attack, then there will be units in here. And then I make sure I hold that hex. He doesn't go into rough terrain. And he'll go into the rough terrain over here anyway, but at least we'll hold on to that. It'd be great to have another unit here, frankly, but I don't think he could retreat. No, can't retreat there. I just want to make sure he doesn't go this way. It likely goes this way, but I want to make sure. Alright, so we have a naval guard units moving this way, which will come in handy. Right, we'll take a look then what shape we're in. Okay, so 36 definitely took the majority of the damage there. So that was the division that went across, and I suppose was the unfortunate buggers that take the brunt of it. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of disruption there. A lot of disruption there. So they're going to have to burn that off. We do have a headquarters over here, which is going to help out with that pretty significantly. That's good. When are you going to get better bombers? It's not really an oof, is it? I mean, it's an oof, but I mean, what else was it going to be? I can't be too negative about it. When are we going to get better bombers? The Key 49 to Homeland, when does that arrive? Let's have a look. Key 49 to A. So that's around September time. Yeah, the admin. But the reason why is we wanted Vidland and the inspiration. Yes, which one is it? That's 54. That's 47, 68, 69. Admin's good for obviously when you're trying to recover them, but for the frontline headquarters, I'd say it's probably better to have the inspiration and land, if I read that guide correctly. And the other divisions are in fairly good shape. I mean, once they do recover of this fatigue and disruption, they should be in much better state. 110th is not too bad there. So we're at 52 there, but 92, 88, 89, 90. So they didn't come out of that too badly. The engineers took a bit of a pounding, but that's not too surprising. We still have half-tracks. Oh, a good number of them were disabled there, but he does have the actual AT guns, so I'd imagine that's probably why. We do have the Yaigo over here, so no, well, most of them were disabled, but that's to be expected. The command HQ is over here at Xi'an, Guangdong, just applying for Kienko. We do have our units moving down here. I thought they would have actually made it in there. I was actually expecting them to be in that hex, and ideally they would have contributed a little bit more there. It takes such slow going here. Such slow going. But we'll have another army moving that way too. There's a tank regiment moving down that way now. I might as well have them actually go ahead and plan for Kienko at this point. Okay. We do have these forces that are moving. 12C is going to move either here or here. I'm probably going to go there just because he can't, so he can't just go straight across and take him a fair while, but he could always do that. Okay. Why are you keeping the command HQ so far? Well, because I don't need it there. I mean, if I lose the command HQ, that's a really bad day. It's got command range at 9. It doesn't need to be there. And if I was to have it go all that way, I mean, sure, you could do it, but, I mean, there's only 2 headquarters there. There's a 3rd headquarters moving down that way. I don't think you risk command HQs like that, really. Now that you don't need a cap, you can use your fighters. Yeah, exactly. That's going to be much nicer to do there. I agree, therefore. That's been the difficulty. So we do have a number of salaries over here. So I can actually at least start to make use of them, which would be nice. 34 fighters, though. That is worrying, though. I would love to try and get some more down this way. No, but what I'm saying, Verivoken, is it's like... It's the risk of it, isn't it? It's got a command range of 9. I don't think it's worth sending out there. Sure, it's got that extra support, but it's a hell of a thing to risk there. I just don't think it's required, really. I mean, it's like, well, it's like command headquarters. I'd rather it be safe and well outside enemy's reach because it can operate from such a distance. I don't think it needs to be up close. It's useful to have in large bases because they're obviously all that support there. It's 240 and so it's 360 there. Which would be great. I mean, it's worth a couple of these guys. But we have a couple of those guys out that way anyway. And I'd rather risk those than actually risk the command HQ. Yeah, he's bloody moving quickly. That's the only bloody problem there. Ideally, we slowed him down enough to make sure we can get in there first. But that's a difficult task in of itself. I think what's going to happen here then is well, actually, has he only just arrived here? I think he was in this hex last turn, but I can't recall if it was marching last turn. I think he might have only just arrived last turn, so we might have a day's march on it potentially. Well, all I can say there is, Evoken, you do it your way, I'll do it my way. I mean, and that's the beautiful thing, isn't it? Right, we'll go for a deliberate attack there. But what I'm saying is, what happens if you do lose your command HQ? What if it goes wrong? I just don't think it's required. Then if I have it all the way down here to Kienko, it's not really much use if I want to use it elsewhere. I'd rather have it on a position like SunYan, where it's on major roads, it can go elsewhere. I just honestly don't think it's much worthwhile. I think it's one of those of where, I mean, sure, if you want to use it like that, use it like that. It's your game. I just don't think it's much use to it in my own. Right, we do have our tanks heading back here to Langchao, which is going to be good. At least then we can have another regiment sent south. We do have our forces which have arrived over here at Sning, which is good. Headquarters moving in there to help out. Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not doing it. I mean, this is it. It's one of these things of like saying, well, why don't you do this? We've never done it like that. And I don't think we ever will do it like that. I do see it as a bit nitpicky. I mean, you can do it. Feel free to do it. But I've given my reasons for not doing it. So I guess we just leave it there, really. I mean, look at it this way. Which is more likely? The headquarters may... I mean, this is it. We don't know what's going to happen at Kienko. What if we are kicked out of Kienko? What if we had the command HQ in there? But then you could say, well, just have the command HQ in the hex next to it. But then what's the point of having the command HQ there if you wanted to use it for support? You'd have to have it in Kienko. So what if we do get kicked out of Kienko, then you do have that command HQ that is actually attacked and potentially... Well, things can go wrong there. I'd rather have it safe in SunYan, where it can actually still carry out its intended function as a command HQ using that command HQ function. We've got the HQs in there to actually give us that additional support too. Okay. Right. Mortar Battalion heading down there to Kienko will be nice too. Now, the artillery came out very well. Yeah, the artillery is fairly good shape. A little bit of fatigue, a little bit of disruption there. I think we should have it artillery-wise. I can't imagine him having terribly much in the way of like actual longer-ranged artillery. Supply situation is going to be an interesting one to watch as well. Right. Those Oscars need to rest somewhat. It'd be great if we had an intermediate base here, really. Ankang would have been good for that. Obviously, we'd have had to build that up to like level 2 base. This one over here, there's no airfield that can be built either way, so that doesn't particularly matter. We'd have to build up SunYan, really. What's the range there? SunYan is 5 hexes. Langchao is 7, but it has a much larger airfield already, which is useful. Okay, so we're across over here. There's no river to worry about, so we can march into this position. Do have a brigade marching this way, and that unit marching this way as well. Which are quite good. Making that progress here. So it looks like there's going to be probably a core there. That might be worthwhile setting the preparation for Lu Chao, perhaps. Will you bombard with the artillery? It looks like a longer siege, so we should use our artillery to weaken them over time. It's an interesting question, actually. I think what I'm going to do is leave it... Well, it's set to bombard here, actually. Alright, let's have that set to defend, just for the time being. I think I'm going to have that set to defend for the time being. I want to see how the supply situation is. I don't think he's going to attack us, but I also don't want to have anything interrupt the fatigue and disruption. Maybe we'll bombard. We'll see about that. Possibly. Okay. Well, we do have the benefit of that times 2 terrain there, which is quite useful. It's going to take some effort there to break him at Kienko, but I don't know if we actually will break him here at Kienko. We can bring additional forces, but it might actually be that we break him in the south, frankly. So he's recovering units that are chunking. Yeah. So we do need to get additional units into this area. But, well, this is it. We're in here. I think eventually we'll be at chunking in this sort of area as well. It's going to take some time, but I think we'll get there. It would have been fantastic had we taken that in a big victory, but we'll see. I think we have the ability to grind him down. I'd be very interested to see how that goes. Something that we may want to look towards, perhaps, then, is securing another base in here. Like, if we could fly in here and take it via paratroopers, that could be quite good. There's 14,880 men there, so that's like, what, a core, perhaps? It'd be interesting to see what was in this base over here. What we need to do is actually just get a big force assembled and, well, just push through this and then push on here, really. Well, we're making that progress. If we can defeat him on the coast, take the actual entirety of the coast, actually take the entirety of the interior here, and then begin pushing there, that should... We'll eventually break through. That's going to be the thing there. Hoping it goes sooner rather than later, but we'll see. Once these are dealt with, we do have a bunch of units that can head down this way too. Okay. It doesn't seem as if he's marching currently. They moved out of there. What I'm going to do is march on top of them there, just keep them in position, really. It's wooded terrain, but it keeps him out of this area here, which is useful. We do have these units over here then. This one is pushing out towards this base over here. It also taking a long time to march through that, so I don't think it's a road. Oh no, it's actually a secondary road there. Never mind, that's not too bad then. It'll not take it too long until it gets there. Oh, whoops. I should have headed back there. Let's see. What I'll do then is move the armoured cars in there then. I think well, this is it. Should have had a garrison unit go in there. I think that's the brigade I sent south, isn't it? That's correct. Okay. We still have control of those roads, that's good. I think what I'll do then is actually, yeah, then take a turn to get there. I'll send another one to go south. What's the garrison requirements? Oh, there's 20, okay. That's not too bad. Right, we do have our additional forces over here now that have finally arrived, which is great. Now, what would have been quite nice is had we taken Ankang there. I think it is Ankang. At least then I would have been able to drive up additional reinforcements there. We might actually go for that as a possibility, really. It depends really on the time taken to march. I'd have to really see which one is actually the faster one to do. When do you want to send the small units that use the road near the border to USSR? You have 3 tank regiments driving north, so having all small units move. Well, the reason is I do not know what the actual garrison is like at Urumqi. It's wooded there, wooded rough. But I would still like to have units there for garrisons. We do have a garrison over here at Urumqi. And it's not a bad idea to keep these bases garrisoned. I know it does get some paratrooper units. It's also not a bad thing to have units out this way as well. If we do ever engage with the Soviets or something of that nature, it's always a good thing to actually have a garrison that can be just used to just hold the base down, really. I mean, that is 26 AV. That one's 42. What do we need here, then? So need 20. So 1 unit there is sufficient. We might have a unit potentially just sit on... I mean, that's clear terrain, which kind of sucks. We might have a unit potentially just sit on the actual border. I'd have to take a look at that. I would potentially have something moved out. I mean, no, wait, no. That's Mongolia, never mind. Yeah. Will come in useful for garrison bases. The tanks obviously I can have sent back. Now I'm hoping we actually arrive there in time. And we do have another aviation unit, that's good. We do have 9th Armoured Car Company, that's going down that way too. It's tempting to get them moving. It would have been nice to have had those AA guns actually. But frankly, I might as well just have them move back into SunYan. It might be that we have to break him over here to Ankang, and that could be potentially done. It'd be... I don't know, it depends really. I'm gonna have to take a look and see which is the faster method. It might simply be faster just march this way. We'll see. These units are heading to Shanghai. There's 41st Division here. Which is the fastest way now? See, it might very well be that we take the 41st Division there and then we do push through Changsha. Having armoured units down here at Changsha would be great. Could be that we try to perhaps go this way. We do have 2 paratrooper units down here as well. We have Yokosuka 3rd and 1st SLF there. Do we still have the paratroopers over here, or is that... Yeah, 2nd Ranger Regiment. So there are 3 paratrooper units in the area. I think what we need to do then is look at how we can actually make use of them. But I think deeper reconnaissance of the interior of China would be great. If we could actually find a base where he's actually weak enough, but it could potentially be taken by paratroopers, that'd be quite handy. Alright, that would be quite good. Not quite the victory we would have wanted, but it does put a tremendous amount of pressure on him now. It'll be very intriguing to see what happens here. I think if we do get that time to actually recover the disruption and fatigue, that'd be quite good. Yeah. Let's take a look. What did we take the qualifications down? Let's see. That's not that one. That's Kanshian. 6k is not too bad, really. That's not too bad. He did have a fair amount of guns there disabled, which is handy enough. That's not too bad, really. So we had 1 to 2 there. Yeah, I don't think we had the best roll. I think it's an okay roll, but I think it's a mediocre roll. Did we reduce the fortifications? I don't think we reduced the fortifications, which does not help. Yeah, it'll just take some time to grind through that then. So what we could potentially do then is these independent engineer units. We have a couple of them in... Yeah, there we go. We have a couple of these independent engineer units in Luzon. It looks like we'll have them transferred. We do have the artillery over here in Luzon, which is going to be transferred. So it's going to be one of those. It's March time now. I think either way, we are progressing in China fairly well. I mean, the fact that we'll have a north is just superb. And essentially all that remains to be done here in the north is just take it. Making that progress there in Burma. Closing in now on last show, so that's good. Once I can actually really truly cut off the bases here and absolutely separate him from... And I guess technically he is already... There are these bases over here, and also they could have assets transferred to them, but there's no direct road connections. I still a goddamn unit here, that's irritating. That always slows us down, but not too bad. Yeah, fatigue and disruption is not too bad. We can go ahead and attack again then. Destroy units. Yeah. I do have these APDs. Yeah, they're on their way. So what we'll do then is actually have them sent out this way instead. I might even go ahead and actually take the base at Akyab. Taking Akyab could be worthwhile doing so, just to make sure, well, this is it. It's another basic out retreat event. Perhaps. We'll see about that. I do see these ships over here then, so AKs, right. No bombers, which is important. I'm sort of a bitch moving north. Right, shock attack there. These units are a pain in the arse. I could march that way. God damn it, wish I had a mod. Right, 18 and 25 is not too bad. Right, we'll have to deal with that. Once we've dealt with that unit there, at least we're alright. Secondary road there. Let's see. Yeah, so we just need a unit to march back across here then, which is not too bad. He's been a major pain in the ass here. I do... Ah, right, yes, we do have a 1st Tank Regiment there. I don't actually need a garrison here, which is awesome. So what I can do is actually... I don't think they'd arrive down here, but I think it's worthwhile having it move down there. But at least we do have another Tank Regiment over here, which is really good news. I think I'm going to give them a day's rest just to burn off that fatigue, and then at least they'll be able to make some good progress up this way. Saying that, though... No, I don't think they're going to burn off that much in the way of fatigue. What's the fatigue on these units over here then, compared to 33? So that seems to be about the sort of normal level of fatigue, then I suppose, in Burma. Okay, 29 is not too bad, but in that instance. And we do need to get our asses moving, so let's get them moving out here. Have them march. Oh, they can't go there, really? Oh, because there's a unit there, right, okay. How does the road look, actually? The road does go that way. They were really fortunate to go straight across there. That really, really helps them out. Really bloody well helps them out. What I may have to go ahead and do then is actually just transfer the mixed brigade out there. It could even be that we use paratroopers, perhaps. It seems like Akyab's empty. I'd love to take a look over here. The issue is he could march units up this way, but I don't think that's a tremendous worry. Right, I want to say last show first. Then I can attack these units over here. I could potentially just bombard him. Maybe. I think I'll bombard him. He shouldn't have much in the way of supply, but it's a way of keeping a check on him. Right, Imperial Guard's moving out there. Okay. Not too bad. Yeah, it would be actually fantastic to get enough bombers in the area with decent amount of cover to make sure we could actually just consistently bomb him. Like, into Kuei Yang would be great for that. Kunming would be quite good for that as well. Notice Kuei Yang being quite close. Oh, so he's actually made it over here then. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that is as we expected there. How you doing there, Cranium? Not quite yet. Not too far off there, I suppose. Okay. I may go ahead and take these Oscars over here and have them sent north, possibly to Langchao, possibly to Xi'an. Just having additional cover would be good. I do find that a little bit worrying there with the 34. He hasn't used them as far as yet, really, but it does worry me, because he could use them. That's what I don't like. It'd be superb to get like a 0 squadron out there, or just something, just additional numbers would be brilliant, to be honest. Alright. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the rest of the theatre of operations then. Right, then a good position there. Jungle Rough. I think I'm going to make that a shock attack. I can't recall what that unit is, but I think it's sufficiently beaten up so we can actually take it. But pretty deliberate for the time being. Can't recall what unit it was. They had at least a day to rest. They're looking great. I'm going to leave that unit here to actually garrison Padang. Do we need to? I don't need to. What I could do then is potentially have them march out that way and begin marching that way. So I'll do that with the cavalry, actually. Yeah, so head to that hex there. I could then potentially have them march this way. But they're just as likely to go that way. Yeah, what I need to do then is just get over there with the actual unit of cavalry, take that base, and then we could take that, and then be done with it, really. Getting rid of these other units would be a bloody pain in the arse, but it has to be done. How are they doing? Not too far away. We might eventually get there by the end of Java. Okay. So unloading here, we can actually dock up, which is good. Speediates the process. Now, I do have these 2 regiments. The reason why I've not attacked as of yet is because I do want to make sure that he can't trace supply to anywhere. If we take this base, he shouldn't be able to trace supply to any allied base, and we'll be able to just attack him then. Which means we'll be able to free up that AV, which can then head on Surabaya. The AV that's going to be over here, the 56 elements of that can head down this way. That'll be quite good. I think what I'll do then is likely then have the 56 sent to Mindanao, perhaps. There is the 30th Division, which we could have maybe sent out towards like Truck End, because I could reform that division. I'd rather have a reformed division, and then at least I can work with that. But then again, arguably, sometimes it's good to have the individual regiments, really. We'll see. 416. It might be worthwhile going for like a bombardment attack at Surabaya, just to get an idea of what his AV is like. I do have his units of artillery as well, so I think I'll set them to a bombardment. I want to get an idea of what he has there. Okay. I think we should win that one, actually. 19 mines cleared there. Near prone. Yeah, okay. That was quite good. It would have been better had we destroyed his units, but yeah, they're not in great shape there. Still complain about the lack of supply, but 8 of 3 destroyed is pretty good. Looks like it's pretty much out of squads there. It was just a... Yeah, so he had 40 AV base. Okay. They took fortifications down there to 2. Right, here we go. Leaders, fatigue, morale, experience, but they still have supply. Yeah. Shock attack there probably is going to be fine. Not taking any real damage there. Looks like it doesn't have the AT gun, so it should be good. It's clear terrain. They should be able to manage that with a shock. And a shock attack to kick them out would be really nice. Try and cause as much damage as we could then. Right, so we have been taking attacks over here. There's a lot of submarines in this area. Whole bloody lot of them. Yeah, it's a whole bloody lot. That's without doubt. But it is worthwhile. We are trying to get a lot of fuel out of this area now. If we get it out, that's going to be fantastic, so that's a good chunk of fuel there, which we can make a lot of use with. Okay. So that's our sub down this way. Strange, because I thought we had like another report of something out this way, because it mentioned carriers, which is odd. They need to be escorted. Oh, right, okay, so see a DD, a CA, and a CL apparently, which is interesting. A few AKs down there. It's good information there to work with. We know he's moving assets into there, so that's good to know. Right, so we're looking at 54% there, so that's going well enough. Not too far away from that size 2 there. What we need then is to go ahead and take Akata Bay, which I'm looking forward to. Need to get some more fuel down here, frankly. What's detection? Ah, blue cost. That's incredible. All these task forces and yet 10 out of 10 detection on the KV. That's not too blue surprising. Yeah, okay. So he's going to know that's obviously an invasion force there. So we may very well see the arrival of his carriers somewhere, maybe even as soon as next turn. That'd be an interesting one. Might take maybe 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 days, depends on when he is. But I imagine he's going to make himself known at some point soon. We have been preparing for that as best we can. We've increased the amount of assets over here, so you can see that we have, let's see, we have 72 fighters there, Oscar Cs. Not a great deal. It'd be nice to have more, but we'll increase that. Bombers is about 52 total, 43 currently ready. But that's not too bad. It's 120 odd aircraft there. We have switched things around, so over here at Palembang, we do have 87 Zeros and about 59 bombers there, G4s. The good news is we do have the H6K4s over here that do give us some decent prior warning, which is very good. Oh, the awesome thing is we do have our first radar. I believe it's in the base unit. In the base force? It's in the base force somewhere. Which one's it in? It's not in that one. Is it in Palembang? I'm trying to remember which one it's in now. 1 second. Which one is it in now? Give me a moment. Oh, it's in the air regiment, right, okay. Yes, in the 23rd AA. Yeah, so we do have a 23rd AA regiment here with Itachi 1 radar system, so they have 2 radar systems there. That's nice. If he comes for a raid in Dutch East Indies, you should do significant damage to his aircrews. Well, that's it, and that's the one that we do worry about, Ben. It's a very prescient observation there. I mean, arguably, this is where we would be weakest. Not so much the northern end, but around about this end. We do have our air division, which is obviously over here at Samrang. I'm going to have that moved out to Madioan, I think it is about here, which allows us to make use of these bases here. I think soon enough I can actually go ahead and take the Oscars that are over here in Borneo, perhaps, and have them possibly pushing into service out there too as well. Just to try and boost up the initial numbers there. That's really what we want to do. I mean, once Mindanao's in hand, it does get easier. So they can go into combat mode here. They can actually hold that hex, which is useful. It looks like there's no enemy base, so sorry, no enemy units over here as far as I can tell. He still looks to be exclusively Gaian, so if we can actually sit on top of Gaian, that would be quite good. Yeah, we do have a couple naval guard units I could potentially have dispatched to Mindanao. I would like another division, but a couple of naval guard units wouldn't be a bad idea. The reason being we could at least take these other bases in the area then. That'd be ideal. And then leave him nowhere to retreat to, which would be nice. Lady, yeah, Bebe's no longer complaining. Set them to replacements there. They do have supply ample enough there to last a fair while. So ideally they recover a little bit of that AV and we have it in hand. This looks to be a, yeah, it looks to be going well enough. They might get to a point where we'll be able to just take them out with the actual units that are actually there. At that point, that does free up a lot of bombers as well that could be then used against Mindanao or in China. Once Mindanao's in hand, then we can have a lot of assets sent into China, really. This is it. It's like Kienko would have been great had it gone better, but it's still only the 12th of March. We will have additional assets that will be moving out that way. Once Lucina's taken care of, I'm going to have these artillery units moved into China then. There's another tank regiment that I'm going to get moved into Burma, I think. But I might even have that potentially moved into China. I'd have to decide on that. It's off the rails now, I think. Yeah, it's off the rails. That probably is... Yeah, well, we can have it move into Burma and then move into China that way. That'd be worthwhile. We'll see about that. But pushing on towards this area would be quite good, because it gives us another way in, potentially another way in there. We just need to put as much pressure on him as possible, really. But if we can get to the position where he doesn't have units blocking these hexes, that's good. But he's running out of bases. Eventually, we'll start pushing deeper in there. It's going to get harder for him, which is good. You can punch through Kienko with enough around 200 bombers. Yeah, well, that's it. And that'd be a great thing there. All we need to do is just get the amount of aviation support. From SunYan, we could run light bombers, I reckon, with 5 hexes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree there, Vulcan. We do have another 2 Sally squadrons over here as well, which is a fair old amount of Sallys. I mean, how many are we looking at over here then in terms of bombers? So there's 86 there at this moment in time. There's another 64 total there. Do we have many other Starlight Squadrons beyond that? Or how many Starlight Squadrons do we actually have? Are they pretty much all of them? Yeah, it looks to be pretty much all the Starlight Squadrons there, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. They need to get some replacements in there. I think I'd have to make that a larger airfield, really. No, you're right there. If we can hold on there, we can really get the bombers in action. This is why I'd really like to get some additional fighters in there, really. What we may have to do is potentially look at what we can do Oscar-wise, upgrades-wise. I think the light bombers are still useful to have because it just adds to it, really. They don't carry huge size bombs, but they still add to it. But no, that's definitely what we need to get going there. It's ×2. But that's still fair enough, really. It would have been great had it been, like, clear terrain, but at least we could have hit that. But yeah, if we can actually hit the airfield and really render the airfield out of service, that'd be great. But obviously going on the ground attack would be quite good too. But yeah, I mean, what is it, size 1 airfield? Yeah, size 1. I just mean initially. I don't imagine he's going to go back there. He could potentially try a shock attack, but I can't imagine he's going to be in a great shape either. And we are in ×2. We still have a decent amount of AV there. There's still about 4 divisions that are more or less alright. Yeah, so we still have 4 divisions that are in fairly good shape. I mean, well, fair shape anyway. 25th doing pretty well. 110th there, not bad. So I don't imagine he can push us out with 1789. Once we get that disruption of fatigue down, we'll be in even better shape. Yeah. I'd be shocked if he... well, this is it. I'd be shocked if he does shock attack, or if he does deliberate attack, he could potentially do it, but I think we'd be able to hold on. I had an 8k stack of Chinese troops supported by artillery against 2.4k at Changsha. Oosh. Ouch. Yeah, see, Changsha's an interesting one there. Urban Light, 10 units. It's not something I'm particularly worried about. But I'm just saying that the potential is there. I think he has less men, so I can't imagine he's in a great shape. He may potentially go ahead and send additional units north, but that's 14 units there. There's only 29,000 men there, apparently. 6 bombers there. If we could bloody shoot those bombers down, that'd be great. Okay. No, I think we're in a decent position as far as it goes. I just wish those fighters bloody well there. I just need to go ahead and see what I can do about getting additional fighters, really. Let's take a look at how many Oscars do we have. So we have 3 in the pool right now. We can draw them more. We might even have to just draw some Key 27s, potentially just gives those numbers there. Probably not. So let's see additional bombers then. We might be able to take a look at taking the Key 48s and the Key 43 1Cs. I'm gonna take. No, it's first Sentai. Where's the rest of that unit? Or is that the entire? No, that's the entirety of that unit, isn't it? Yes, that's the entirety of that unit. Okay. Aye, okay. Oh, we do have a 0 there. We do have the 11th Sentai, actually. 11th Sentai would be very useful down here at Kopang. An alternate use would be in China, but I think it's probably better to have it sent down to Kopang. To have like a 3rd Oscar squadron there would take us really to where we need to be. It'd take us over the 100-point ven, which would be quite good. I think that's something that we need to take a look at. I think if we can ensure that the outer perimeter is actually relatively safe, which I think it probably is. We do have forces we could potentially draw on elsewhere as well, but we'll see. See, something to potentially consider is maybe, do we have any excess naval bomber squadrons? Those Key 48s are going to be quite useful, actually. What's their range again? Their range is 9 normal, 11 extended. I reckon we can make use of that. What's the range from Hankau? Hankau to Kienko is 11. We may potentially go about rebasing our Sallies, perhaps. There's 215 aviation support there. What's the distance here? 9. I'm trying to think where we could actually get additional avian. I may potentially even go ahead and build up Aichang to some degree. Because having a larger airfield there would be quite nice, especially so close to supply. But we'll probably make use of it. I just have a lot of these units here and I'd love to have them further up this way. It's just the fighters, that's the only concern there. 27s. We do have, yeah, there we go. So we do have some Oscars over here that have been upgraded. So it's 13 there. Right, okay. They could be upgraded. Right. I'm not going to do that now, but that remains an option, so we can then have the 68th Sentai folded together. And that's a good deal. Yeah, that's 24 there. We could obviously add to that as the turns go on. But having like a proper Oscar squadron out here would be great. It'd be better to have something a bit more substantial than that, just in case it does have some flying tigers, but we'll see. Yeah, just need to get the bombers assembled. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else we might be able to bring to bear. So I think Let's see, actually. We don't actually have a huge deal of these lilies, do we? We do have a lily group over here to Kanoya. War, Rangoon, Adzab, and Ribal there. So the ones we could potentially draw on then are, of course, ones at Rangoon and potentially Kanoya. 400 kilograms is not bad. But yeah, just having as many bombers as we could throw against it would be quite useful then, just to really try and grind the airfield down. And, of course, then grind his supply down. That'd be quite good doing that. At least then we get to switch over to the ground attacks, which should be fairly effective. I think the size of the bomb does make a difference when you're targeting ground units. So I think what would be a decent usage then is potentially to have the lilies used to keep the airfield subdued. At least then that could actually leave the stars then to actually bomb his ground units then like that. That's not bad. Right. So I'm going to wager that is mined, but we do have DMSs. We do have additional DMSs that have been making their way out this way too. So looking forward to that. The division did make it in here to truck, which is good. It does give us another 2 APDs over here in this area, which I can make a great deal of use for. I do need to take a number of little dot bases in this area, so they'll be quite handy for that. That does bring an additional supply. Not really like a reason for it being here, but it's not a bad thing. Let's see. What are they like disruption-wise? Not terrible. Is there an element of the second unloaded? I don't think there's an element of the second unloaded as of yet. So I think what I'm going to do then is cancel that unloading there. I'm going to cancel that for now and decide what I want to do with them. I could potentially have them move down here towards Iniwatok and have them actually landed in Iniwatok. At the very least we actually do have a fair old bloody reserve to draw upon then. Which would be quite useful. We'll see there. Is it 5 units? He's made a fair amount of investment there. I do have additional submarines moving out that way. I do have submarines patrolling around here as well. Having additional ones would be great. Right, he's definitely moving this way. I'm trying to actually intercept him here if I can. With the endurance I do have. Well, he's definitely building up Dutch Harbour. Well, he's resupplying or doing something at Dutch Harbour. We know he's doing something over here at Nemea. So the war is entering into a different phase here really now. Still complaining about lack of supply. That's incredible, really. Well, they're not too far off. We do have another 3k that's arrived. There's another 200 here that's going to be unloaded and we're good to go. What I'm going to do, though, is actually have them undock. Allows this group to actually dock, and then that's 3k that can begin to unload there. So it should have enough supply at Roynmer shortly. But really what we want is we really want to get that like 95k fuel out of there really. If we can get that to head down to like somewhere like the Baldwab, etc., that'd be great. Or I don't think it'd go straight onto a truck just because obviously the submarine fears. But really want to get that fuel moved out to where we want it. I do have some additional fuel moving down that way. I might just have that move straight out towards potentially Neotok, but we do have a great deal of fuel there. Truck, we still do have fuel in the remaining AOs. That's a good deal. I mean, that's 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's a good few K of fuel there. So we can definitely still look after the area. I do want to get some more supply down there too. Which is over here. So we do have another 23k there. Sorry, 25k supply. And yeah. These are, yeah, so we do have fuel headed down there. So another 23k there, fuel. There are... I decided to send these fellows out that way too, so that's another 27k. But I might have that potentially moved elsewhere. I do have a need for AKs in that area, ones that are not tremendously valuable, but ones that do have decent capacity. So I thought, well, I'm going to have it actually sent out to trucks. I do need that fuel down that way. I think having an abundance of fuel would be very useful. Whether it actually does head that way, I'm not too sure. I'd love to have it head into this area around here, but it's very difficult with the amount of submarines it has in that area. Maybe I do attack there. I think I will attack again, to be honest. Yeah, I guess we will. He still has level 2 fortifications. It'd be nice to try and drive him down. I don't think we'd actually beat him next turn, but if I can drive fortifications down, that's good. A couple light bombers would be quite good out there just to try and maintain that damage. Having reconnaissance just makes a tremendous difference, really. It's a genuine pain in the ass, but it's not too bad. Yeah, so eventually we will be able to bring the armored units back down here. I still think it's worthwhile to have the 3 units there. They're already up in the north, so that's not too bad. There's an armoured unit that can be headed back, so that's 1 there that can be sent back. Once we've dealt with this, that's the 2nd armoured unit, another armoured car company that can be sent back. We do have another armoured car company there. We do have a regiment that's moving it out that way too. Okay. So these little bloody buggers out this way. We could have a couple of brigades march that way, and that'd be nice too. I think we can mass enough AV to kick him out of Kienko, and I think having the actual bombers in place would be great too, so we need to figure out a way that we can actually make that happen, really, in a good way. Okay. Beyond that, I mean, it wasn't a bad turn, really. I mean, only 6k is not bad. We've got 1 division that's going to be in dire need of replenishment, but that's still not too bad. 21st Division is being reformed. It's going to take some time. There we go. We do have these 2. Yeah, so what we can actually look at doing then is moving the artillery from Luzon, potentially down here to the southern area of China. Those additional independent engineer units would be great, and we just need to drive on here. That's going to be the goal of early 42, is to defeat China, and I reckon we can do that. It's honestly, his strategy in China has been consistently hard to really just put the finger on there. But we are putting that pressure. Right. There's a couple cores over here at Changsha. We see there's a core on the river here at Hengyang. He really doesn't have that much in this area. What would be great is to have a decent number of tanks over here to just really pursue him, but we'll have to take a look at that. We do have these divisions here. Now maybe there is the time to actually start to drive on here. I do have that division, and maybe I actually do have a 41st Division sent elsewhere. So I could have it sent this way to Wuchang perhaps, and then Wuchang can march this way. The awful thing about this particular location where they are here is that trail, because it's trail into secondary road into then heading, well, Hankow. So it takes days. You have to actually use the strategic transport. There we go. I do have a base force that can begin to head north. I would like to have it at Xi'an. Aye. We're making our way to China and shortly. I mean, there's only last show over here, but at least we are moving into China proper then. That base over there probably send the TIE units up towards. But we are moving in now, which is good. I think once we're finished with this, I mean, once we're finished with Mindanao, that's another division that could be headed elsewhere, another 2 divisions that could be headed elsewhere after that. There's a lot of units there. I do need to go ahead and get these naval guard units actually sorted out, get them actually sorted into where they're going to be heading. It's not bad. We are making good progress, frankly. Yeah, there's like 8 Oscars there. Another 4 Oscars there, so that's 12 Oscars there, which would be quite useful. But we do have groups that we are upgraded in Manchuria, which is awesome. Just need to really take a look at where we want to have our air power based, and go from there. Now, we do have these fellows over here. I think what we will go ahead and potentially do then is we have 1956 AV there. We are recovering to a good degree. I think what we will look towards doing then is actually following them across over here to Naichang. It would be a shock attack across the river, but I think it's a much better prospect to fight him at Naichang, but we've got to keep that army locked down, essentially, or just defeat as much as possible. We can actually have those units planned for Naichang, which would be quite good. I may potentially do that, maybe we will change. And the issue is if I do not pursue that army there, that then gives him 15 units which you could then bring into this area here, so it doesn't really help me out here. I think what we want to do then is try and move the 41st Division out this way. I think these units are going to have to do that. I really do need to kick this unit out of here so I can actually open up that road to the south. I do have another brigade there. We also have another brigade here as well, so we do have 2 brigades there. This unit is marching on towards, however you want to pronounce that, so we'll have another brigade there shortly. I think what we have to make a decision on then is, do I take these 2 divisions here? So we have the 34th and the 27th divisions. The 27th is in really great shape. I could potentially have them make their way out this way. There's like 17th division there. I could potentially have that march back this way. I think there's a good deal to be said for actually destroying him on the coast, and then once it's done, it's done. We'll see. I think we'll have to take a look at priorities. I reckon a couple of brigades out here would make a tremendous difference. Maybe another division, maybe. I still have the ability to draw upon another Manchukuo division, but I don't think I'll do that because that is pushing the actual AB there quite close to the wire. I'm not particularly eager on that one. There's 2 divisions in this area here that can be sent down that way. Those are going to be the most immediate prospect of divisional level, divisional size for reinforcements. A 3rd after sinning sorted. I don't know if he could still draw supply at such distances, really. I guess he could because it's obviously a secondary road there. But either way, he goes into the mountain over here. It's a nice sized base too, which is quite cool. 40 garrison. It'd be good to have the industry there. Resources. Yeah, I just need to focus on getting actual assets assembled. Which we can manage. I think I might go ahead and transfer some additional Dinas into China. I think having additional reconnaissance and just having reconnaissance over as many bases as possible would be really quite nice. But we've made the move now. We've arrived in Kienko. And that's the important thing. As Ove can say today, it's very, very, very unlikely that we'll get kicked out, which is very useful. We'll look towards concentrated set bombers, look to concentrate set fighters in set areas. And really just push on these southern areas, and we're making a good push over here. There's 51st Division here, so he's pressured in quite a lot of places right now. Once the scene is done, then that's forces that can be then headed into China, which is awesome. I can't imagine he has much. I mean, there's another tank regiment there, which would be superb. Though a tank regiment would be quite good down here too. But I think I'd probably like to have it in China, perhaps. I do consider potentially attacking there, but he is being reduced. We might as well continue it. I'd love to know how it's impacted on their experience. And it's increasing their ground, which is quite good. You can see their experience is increasing in general. Yeah, I mean, green is obviously represented today, so they are gaining experience from bombing him consistently, which is quite nice. It's not too bad, really. It does have a use there. I can't imagine there's much away supply. So 378 here. Yeah, we do need to get these engineers moved out. Shipping's mostly down here in Manila. What I'm going to do then is actually have, let's see, these independent engineers. Send them down to Manila. They're still recovering there. There's still a few disabled engineers that they do need to recover. So we'll have to take stock of what's actually worthwhile sending. Like that one there, it only has a couple IGAs, but it's still got a few engineer units, which is quite useful. These units over here as well. I think we can do with moving them out. Having additional engineers elsewhere would be quite advantageous. So we'll get them moved out to Manila. I just need to go ahead and get the AKs in Manila then, so we can actually get these assets moved out to where they need to be. Yeah, these ones, they had their IJ units destroyed. They can still participate, but they're not exactly fantastic. Yeah, that one's got a while to recover. We may potentially have them deployed to a number of different bases across the areas and just sort of use them as like a nuclei to build up certain bases over time. Right, they're loading there. I do have these APs here. They're heading that way. I don't know why they're on cruise. I'll keep them heading that way for the time being. I think what I'm going to do then is actually dock them for the time being, because I do want to get those additional assets out into China. So we'll dock them for the time being. I can come back for resources then afterwards. But I'd like to get a number of units moved into China then. Those engineers could be quite handy, really. Especially by building up air bases on the front, that'd be quite nice. That'd be useful. Be very, very useful. I'll go ahead and take a look at the R&D then. Right, so 11 days then it looks like. If we actually have them repair each day, that'd be quite nice. So about 11 or so days until these guys are able to be transferred to the Iceycrome as well, which is nice. 84% there, so not too far away from bringing it forward. Right, there's 13 of the Key 45s left to produce. And the cool thing is, what we can do then is like these light bomber squadrons, is we could probably have them actually just upgrade to the Nix when that is available for us to use there, really. That'd be quite nice. Production of aircraft? Yeah, I'll take a look at that in a second, actually. It's a good idea. Yeah, so we have 2 5s to the 83s. Oh, so the third 5 there. Making progress. It's getting there. I think I did mean to actually go ahead and restart production of the HACID K4s. What engine is it that they use again? So they use the half 33. I think we are currently trying to stockpile the half 33. I'm trying to recall which one. I think it's the yeah. I think what we're trying to do then is stockpile that for the. Is it the A6MA that uses the half 33? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. How many of those do I have in stock? 434 in pool. Okay. I could probably. I might be able to go ahead and turn on the HACID K4 production. They don't produce that many, do they, really, in terms of HACID K4? So I think it's worthwhile having them. Though saying that... No, I think I will have HACID K4 production turned on again. And it's only 6 a month, isn't it? Should be able to manage to get away with that. I don't know. I mean, the issue is we'll take a look and see how many HACID K4s we have in stock. No, I do agree. The sooner we get that, the better. And let's see. How many do we have in stock? We'll make a decision from that. 0 in stock. How are we doing in the HACID K4s? Okay, well they're not that bad then, I guess. Hey, Dynamite, good to have you. They're not that bad, actually. So I think we can manage them a little while longer then, actually. So we'll turn that back off. We can manage a little while longer. 35, 35. Yeah, we're not producing the G3M2s either at the moment in time. What is the G4M? Yeah, the G4M1 uses a different engine, thankfully. Since 7 of those in pool. Yeah, 434. We're fairly bloody close, aren't we, really? I mean, we're producing quite a few of those a month, actually. Let's see. It's just at 83 there times 3 at the moment. It's 249 divided by 30. So we produce about 8.3 a day. So yeah, having a H6K4 added to that does actually draw. Well, does have an impact, isn't it? Doesn't it? Sorry. Yeah, continue with that. Armaments is continuously reducing at the moment. It's not bad. I can turn that back on when needs be. And naval shipyard seems to be going down, which is interesting. I'll check that out. Let's see. Right. I don't know why. We have an issue here at Tokyo, which is bizarre. Regarding resources. Need to look into that one. That's interesting. Well, we do have a number of shipments of resources coming in soon enough, so we'll be able to build that buffer back up. In fairness, I imagine that's probably come about from the fact that we haven't been drawing from Sakhalin as well. They've been carrying fuel. But we can go ahead and get that started soon. Yeah, there we are. So we have that underway now. We do have another shipment coming in there. Ah, so that's just arrived. Okay. Bit of a pain, but it's not going to last too long, so we do have those resource shipments there. I have a lot somewhere. Whereabouts is it? Right, loan resources there. So 66k there. Yeah. So there's 160,000 units there which are on their way. So once we get those back in Japan, then that actually gives us that stockpile which we need, which is quite nice. Okay, yeah, we'll take it from there then. So thank you very much for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. It has been quite the momentous day then. So we did finally have the Battle of Kienko. Didn't win it outright, but we didn't lose it tremendously either. Near enough. I mean, we had 6k, 6.4 to his 3.6, or 6.6 to his 3.4k losses. Not a huge deal of destroyed on either side. I think we had more destroyed, but I suppose that's to be expected when you cross into ×2 level 3 fortifications. But it would have been nice to have reduced those fortifications. It would have been great. It would have been absolutely fantastic to have won that. But I think to have won that, I think we probably would have required, for one, a better role. Maybe another division or two, but having a bunch of tanks, that would have made a nice difference. But hey, hey. I think we've still made the right decisions. We have the north. I think taking the north sooner rather than later is a good idea, especially just getting that oil. There's 2 divisions down here, be able to move down and back soon enough. I do wonder if it's worthwhile to actually air transport some units into Kungchang there. At least then we can actually hold on to the base because he has to attack it then. I think that might be something we should be able to do. I need to double check whether like air transported units arrive before the land movement phase. If they do, we can have a unit there before he actually gets there. I think we still will. So we do have these guys there. I don't think that would automatically flip to his control anyway. He'd have to attack. I think we're fine. I do think we're fine. I do want to make sure they march into the right position there. So let's say... I'm going to go ahead and make a save here just in case, otherwise I don't want to bug myself. Right, so march our objective. Right, yeah. Well, he's certainly going to arrive there. It doesn't particularly make a difference if he's in movement mode or combat mode, really. Also even movement mode. Yeah, we do have the armoured units there. If we can get there first, which I think we will do, and I think that base will still be ours next turn, even if he does arrive, which I don't think he will do. We can then follow him in there with the armor and then have him surrounded. And at least by actually properly surrounding him like that, actually controlling each and every hex side, I think we should be able to just utterly defeat him then. Just need to make sure we can take care of these units then afterwards. Bombers might be able to do that over the long run, but they're a pain in the arse. He's doing his best to just cause us problems, really. That's what he's looking towards doing. But once we have these units destroyed here, then my god, I'm going to feel a lot better. But yeah, I'm thinking what I might do then is actually take these two divisions over here as well. I mean, having another two divisions, a third division with that division there, I think that's going to give us a good deal of force to actually be able to drive through Changsha. But if I could actually go ahead, I mean, actually, you know what an interesting consideration is here? Is rather than land the artillery down here on the coast, I could potentially have it landed all the way up over here at Wuchang, perhaps. Or even down here at Hankow. Or even over here at Shanghai in general. That could be an interesting idea to potentially have it. I think we might be able to use a riverine... transportation there. But if we did that, we could have it brought into the center of China. And it'd be really quite useful down here at Changsha to have a lot of grinding artillery there. That could be a very good location for it. But we'll see about that. But there we go. So thank you very much there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're looking forward to the next few turns. Things are going to probably get quite interesting in the next coming days. But we do have a growing number of actual aircraft over here. There's 124 over there. We do have our 80-odd zeros over here with a good number of G4s. We do have a H6K4s, gives us prior warning. We do obviously have the Port Blair Key 43s over here. Maybe we need more Oscars down here at Port Blair. But I think we need to make a decision on that one, really. Right now, these guys could go either way, and that might be a good idea. Just to keep them in position, really. So we can have them actually moved out if needs be, but we'll see about that. Aye. But once we knew where he was, at least we could actually consolidate air power then, which is nice. And again, I'm still quite happy to have the 23rd Air Regiment over here, the AA Regiment. Having some radar definitely does help out at Palembang a great deal there. That'd be quite cool. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that before I go. Electronics. So it's the Tachi 1, I think it is. So Tachi 1 range is 45k, which is, it's better than having nothing. We've been using these sound detectors, which are only like, what, 25? Which is actually surprising. Accuracy 10, effect. Accuracy is 20, effect is 20. Getting to these other radar systems would be great, but yeah. It's better to have an actual radar system than to have no radar system at all. There we are. I can have a save. So until next time, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're looking forward to the coming days, really. We'll have the invasion awake not too long from now. And we'll see how China develops. But we're there. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. Oh dear. Until next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.